ladies and gentlemen. There's a Boston City Councilwoman that is calling for people to take in these illegal, unvetted, unknown migrants into their homes. You don't even know if you got a real name. You don't know anything about these folks, but let them in your house. And we already know Venezuela, they just cleared out their prisons. You don't know if you got one of those inmates in your house. Hell no. But this is what they're calling for and trying to make the people feel guilty on top of that. Got some nerve. Well, if you want these illegal migrants to be housed, then I would suggest this councilwoman and the Democratic governor, Mara Helly, put them in your house. Take them in since you have this concern about them being housed somewhere. Start with yourself. Let them in your home. I'm going to play this video and I will be right back with the rest of my commentary.
Boston is running out of room to house migrants, and one Democrat city council member wants residents in the suburbs to start taking them in. She says Dedham, Wellesley, Brookline, cities and towns that have so much more resources than the city of Boston, people who actually have more financial support, we need to do everything in our power to make sure that we are setting them up for success, or whatever success looks like. I think everyone should be opening up their doors because this is a shared responsibility.
Grace Curley lives in a Boston suburb and is the host of the Grace Curley Show, and she joins us now. Grace, great to have you here. If I'm a resident of Wellesley, Dedham, or Brookline, I'm thinking, since when does your horrible sanctuary city policy, Councilwoman Mejia, create a responsibility for me? What say you, Grace?
I agree. And when we saw this happening in Martha's Vineyard, it didn't go well. That was in 2022. Martha's Vineyard, home to John Kerry and Barack Obama, when they received 50 migrants from Ron DeSantis, they brought in the National Guard. So this isn't going to be a kumbaya moment. This is probably going to create a lot of issues, and there's going to be a lot of unhappy people out there.
Yeah, and this is the genius of Governor Greg Abbott. By busing migrants, he made this an issue for blue cities with progressive lawmakers who had previously called for open borders. And now a lot of black residents, Grace, are angry. And because of this and the economy, those once solidly blue voters, some people say, are up for grabs. And Joe Biden cannot afford that.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you guys brought up Melnia Cass, because that's a recreation center, and that was used for a lot of these young kids to go, and whether it's practice track or just hang out, that was a really important area in that community, and people aren't happy about it. And this is what's going to happen. And people were holding signs, why us? Why not Wellesley? And it seems like politicians now are starting to get that pushback from their residents, from their constituents, and they're panicking a little bit. They're doing things I never thought I'd see them do, like calling on these suburbs. And a lot of people who have signs on their front yard that say, you know, hate has no home here, no human is illegal. Well, now they're going to have to put their money where their mouth is, it seems.
Grace, what do you think? What are people saying in your neck of the woods? Do you think anybody will actually house these migrants?
There's been a couple of local news stories about people in Brookline and other places taking in migrants. So some people aren't hypocrites. Some people say, listen, this is what I stand for, and I will take people in. I mean, it's not that many. It's not enough to handle the influx that we're seeing by any means. But there are some people, and I give them credit, who aren't afraid to say, listen, I have said I'm open to a sanctuary city or a sanctuary town, and so my door is open.
My concern with that, you are basically opening your doors to an unvetted stranger on the one hand, and secondarily, you are normalizing illegality. So even though you think you're doing something magnanimous, I think it's a bad thing for our country. I want to get your thoughts on this before we let you go. The San Diego border sector just arresting 269 Chinese migrants on Monday. Take a look at this comparison, Grace. 450 Chinese nationals were encountered at our southern border in fiscal year 2021. More than 20,000 have already been encountered this fiscal year. That's quite a jump. So-called immigration experts say it's unlikely these are CCP agents. Are you buying that, Grace?
No, I'm not. And of course, not everyone who's coming into this country has nefarious intentions, but we'd be naive to not think people are taking advantage of this. And Todd, it actually goes back to what you just said. It's about the incentivization, it's about incentivizing people to come over here and making it obvious that we have a porous border, that you can get through, that there's not going to be a lot of punishment or even vetting if you want to do that. And if you're a Chinese national or if you're anyone in any part of the world, and this is what you want to do, now seems to be the time, especially we're heading into an election. People realize that if they don't make this decision now, if they don't take advantage of this now, they might not have the opportunity come 2020, to come the election in November, and hopefully if there's somebody else in charge.
Yeah, many of these Chinese migrants say that they're here because of the strict COVID lockdowns. Their businesses shut down, so they're coming here for a better life. But then a lot of them are also military-age men, which is raising a lot of concerns.
You saw that video.
Yeah, and just them scampering into the United States from that open section in California. They know where to go because it says it on TikTok as well, which is another big issue.
To be honest with you, I think these Democrats should stop pestering people, the public, to take these folks in. Since the Democratic Party, Joe Biden, Kamala, Congress, the Senate, since you're all for these people being here, why don't you house them? Put them around you. Put them in your neighborhood. Put them right there in your house. Why are you pestering the public to do this when you can do this yourself? You're the ones that want these people here. You're looking for cheap labor. You're looking for these people to do that back-breaking work for pennies on the dollar. You're the ones that are concerned about that. So why should everybody else be burdened with a bunch of illegal migrants and migrant families that are coming here? So I think the people that want them here, it is your responsibility to let them in your house. That's where I stand on the whole issue. But y'all, you're going to have to tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.